presents Behind the Blind Podcast.
Welcome back. What a day. What a day we had in North Dakota. It's another episode of Behind the Blind, brought to you by Heartland Waterfowl and Double TT British Kennels. Hey, real quick, I just want to tell you a little bit about Double T British Kennels. For more than 20 years, Double T British Kennels have imported dogs directly from Great Britain to build superior bloodlines. Their top-of-the-line dogs are proven in the field and in major field trials. Learn more at BritishLabs.com and tell them Heartland Waterfowl sent you. Everett Adkins, Logan Burditt, Joe Palumbo. I'm Ronnie Philips. As I said in the open, man, what a great day we had after a couple not that we weren't having a good time here, but let's face it, the first 2 days were a struggle. Today was phenomenal. We actually killed some birds today, guys.
Felt pretty good.
Finally pulled the trigger.
Felt pretty good.
And and one of the things about, if you've watched Heartland Waterfowl over the years, what's the biggest thing we complain about?
The wind.
The wind. And we didn't have any today, and it didn't matter. And one of the other things that we kind of occasionally will complain about, fog. We had that. So we had fog, we had no wind, and we still got after them. So I think the total number was, 23, 24?
24. Yeah.
24 early season geese here in North Dakota. And
it was a perfect 24, though. I mean,
no doubt.
8-pack come in, none leave.
Yeah.
4 or 5-pack.
They worked good.
We had one group that kind of was skirting us that we called the shot 6 or 8 out of. But
No, they worked good.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, real good. Ducks put on a show. It was fun.
That was
a lot of fun.
No doubt. Of course, I'm always in for that. And the hard part was that, anytime you're hunting in the fog, if you hear a goose, then that's the thing. That was the theme that we were hearing from Logan all the time, was like, talk to him, Joe. Talk to him. We heard this over and over again. But it's so important because you got to let them know they're there, because we can't see them. Pretty good chance they can't see us.
Right. That's just the old rule of thumb. If you can't see them, they can't see you.
Right.
So you got
the old rule of thumb, Joe.
Look,
that's a T-shirt. I think it's a T-shirt. Might be the next design of the month.
The hands can't hit what the eyes can't see. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. All right. But now, like in a situation like that, like we could hear the birds on the roost. We could hear them kind of getting rowdy, and we could tell when they were in the air. And if all those things line up and you do that, you should try to talk to them a little bit. Let them know that you are there, and just give them direction. Hey, we're still here. We're right back here where we were last night. Everybody, come hang out.
Yeah.
The oats.
Is that what you're saying to him in the call?
Yeah.
Come over here. We're over here. Come over
What's
here.
up, Frank? What's up?
I was here last night.
What's up?
It's your friend Mike down at the corner.
We got ribs. We got oats. We got wheat.
Collard greens, hog maw.
But no, the fog worked to our advantage this morning. I feel like it really did.
Can you explain that?
The big thing for me was, if we were to hide on an edge or that rock pile, I don't think we would have done as well as we did today, fog or no fog.
Right.
Why is that?
Because we were off the X, right? And that's a
but not by much.
No,
but
on a foggy
60,
day,
80 yards.
on a foggy day, that matters.
That does.
Here's the deal.
Early season geese, especially.
Right.
Most likely, we're not hiding out in the middle of that field today if there wasn't fog.
Right.
So that's the difference. And, Cody made the call, and that's what we were going to do, and we were going to live and die by it. But the fog helped us hide where we needed to be, and that was the difference maker with the fog.
Yeah.
And those birds wanted to be there. And I think if we would have set back another 40, 50 yards off the rock pile, we wouldn't try to scratch at them at 70 yards, because they would have been short stopping us all morning.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a clear, sunny day and we were able to roll in there, and because that was part of the problem, we should emphasize that. Like, we were really rushing, because it not only took us a long time or longer,
it took forever to get
there, because we could only see 20 feet in front of us. Once we got to the field, which was a fairly decent sized field, there was a lot of big round bales that were stacked together. And the idea, after seeing them the night before, was that we were going to use those line of big round bales as a backdrop, but we couldn't find the bales. We just knew by looking at Onyx, where we were in the general area of where the X was. And it wasn't until the sun came up a little bit and you can kind of see, oh, there's the bales right there.
Those are the ones we were looking for the whole time.
They were up on a hill, and we were kind of down in the valley. So, we talk about the hide all the time and how important that is. In this particular case, the fog was a contributor to our hide.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out fog.
Yeah.
Shout out. Thanks for the assist.
But I mean, we blended in well. There was a lot of
trash in that field.
Volunteer. Yeah. There was bales all over the place.
Yeah.
We
there
had
was a lot of there was a lot of other stuff in that field.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look out of place by any means, and the color.
It
was
would have though possibly had it been a clear sunny day
for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
we used it to our advantage, but it was truly by accident because we really were. But we were running behind, and at that point, it was like if we don't pick a spot and start setting up,
right here's where they were.
We're
Let's
going to
set up right here.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
We actually have a few clips from the hunt. So again, remember you can watch these podcast episodes on Spotify and YouTube video versions. So. If you're someone who typically listens to podcasts and just the audio version, we would encourage you to check out the video version as well. Here in this beautiful podcast studio that we have here in New York. I don't know which. Is this the first volley? This is the first volley of the morning. Roll the tape.
Good, ready? Okay. Kill him, boy.
Mopped them.
That's efficient shooting right there, boys.
Mopped them.
Yeah.
Get him, boys.
Cody really wanted to make sure they were feet down nearly right, just scraping the wheat stubble.
They were all dead. But I was waiting for that one to break off. I mean, I was shooting 20 gauge and I was mopping them up.
This is the last volley.
Last volley. Oh, these were the high ones, yeah.
Are you on them? Mm-hmm. Get him, boys.
Mopped them up.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit of a poke.
Yeah, and it just lets you know. I mean, you say that. It's, oh man, they're out there, but it's like after shooting them at 15 steps.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking 35 yards maybe.
Right, but it just goes to show
40 yards possibly.
It just goes to show the efficiency of the shells though too.
No doubt.
I mean,
no doubt. Wow, way to segue into our sponsored Kink cartridge and efficient shells that we've got. That was good. That was a good transition there.
Thanks.
He's been practicing.
We didn't have many cripples.
No, not at all.
And like I said, I was shooting 20 gauge, and I mean, I shot. I mean, I know I hit a couple. At least I think I did. Anyway.
Now he's trying to be humble in the field.
Claiming Raymond.
Look what I did. Look what I did. Now he's on the podcast, and he's like, oh, I mean, humbly, I think I shot a couple.
I'll claim them all. I was claiming Raymond.
It was good.
It was good. It was good. And then we came back. So after we got the 24 geese, we were excited. We were hyped. You got to remember, after a couple of days of getting kicked in the nuts, it's defeating. And so we were excited to get back. The fog had lifted. It was a calm day. We said, let's go fishing. We had a great day 2 days prior. And so we got a couple more boats out on the lake. And our buddy Cole Hill, that we love hunting with up here in North Dakota, he really had a great day on the lake with bringing in a pretty good size walleye. Roll the tape.
There's one. That's a pike. Oh no, it's a giant walleye.
A giant walleye.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, dude.
You're only as good as your net man.
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that bad.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Oh, mine just got off.
That's a giant. Hold on.
Wow, look at that. Measured at 24 inches. Is that right?
Yep, 24 inches.
Yeah, it was a good one.
We did put her back. We didn't fillet that one.
Yeah, so
just so everybody knows, we put that one back.
So being a Missouri, Kansas guy who doesn't get the opportunity to fish for walleye except for when we come up to North Dakota, there's kind of, I guess, unwritten rule or kind of an ethic.
I mean, it's just like anything else. Like, like people get a bad rap for eating largemouth bass, but a 2.5, 3 pound largemouth bass is actually really good to eat. Now, you don't want to eat a 10 pounder. Let them stay in the lake and breed. Mm-hmm. Same thing. It's just good management. Good,
sure.
Good management.
I get it. So what I'm
Keep
asking
the genetics in the pool
for anybody who might be listening from the West Coast or the East Coast who doesn't have the opportunity for fishing for walleye, like what is that rule of thumb? Is it 21, 22 inches?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
For instance, in Kansas, most lakes in Kansas have a 21 inch rule. 2 fish, 21 inches.
Right. What are you trying to say, Mike?
18.
18.
I think no, he's saying like 18's a good eater, right? Or are you more like a 15's
You're saying
a good
you throw
eater?
the 18 inches back, Mike?
You're throwing all the 18 inches back, huh?
Anything over 18, you would
well,
throw
Mike,
back.
I kept 2 that were pushing 20.
Them are good eaters.
You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him.
Yeah.
But I was in your boat and you allowed me to keep those. Okay.
I would say right around 21. Like I said, in Kansas, the length limit's 21 at most places.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's either 5 at 18 or 2 at 21.
Most of them are 18, but there's a few at 21.
Yeah, but it's a 2 fish 21.
Yeah.
But I mean,
or a 5 fish
so
18.
Let's just say it's 18 to 22, whatever. Regardless, you're throwing that one back all day long. Like you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And here's the deal: we caught plenty to eat.
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
No doubt.
we
No
caught
doubt.
plenty.
Filled the
It's not like
box.
that was the only fish we caught.
Yeah.
You
Fill
know?
the box.
No doubt. Excuse me. It was a great day on the lake. Great day. Both boats did very, very well. I crushed everybody after having a goose egg.
You did do good.
I'm waiting for a smart ass remark from somebody.
No, you're just digging yourself a hole. Keep talking.
Hey, take your flowers, buddy.
All right. Yes. Thank you.
You've heard 'em.
That's a beautiful bouquet.
You've heard them.
Hey, it's time for the Ducked Up question of the day. It's brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it ain't the duck, the preferred coffee of choice in the blind or around the breakfast table for Heartland Waterfowl and waterfowl hunters in every flyway. And you can save on a variety of blends by using promo code HW10 at dirtyduckcoffee.com. Let's send it to the guys behind the table. Dakota, what is the Ducked Up question of the day?
Okay, so today's question is if you have a choice of extending either your bird limit or extending your season by 2 weeks, what is your choice?
Everett, let's start with you. You get a chance to...
Daily bird limit.
Yeah, like you're in Kansas, right? You typically hunt Kansas
We always
the most.
complain about 3 geese in Missouri.
No doubt, right? So you could maybe add a few more geese, a few more ducks to your daily limit, or you could tack on a couple more weeks to your duck season or your goose season. Which one do you want?
I'm going to choose the extension on the season, but I'm not asking to extend it into, deeper into February for ducks or anything like that. I'm looking at it saying I would rather start the season later.
Start it later.
And kind of do away with some of the split on that.
Okay.
Not every
okay.
state has a split,
extending it in that direction.
Yeah.
That doesn't really directly answer the question.
He's a real roundabout guy.
Right.
It's
an
never
extension
yes.
of the season,
It's never
but I
yes
don't-
or no.
It's not an extension of the season, but I don't want to shoot ducks 2 weeks later than what it is. I want more days, but in a different way.
Okay, Logan, what's your thoughts? I mean, I know it's all circumstantial to where you live.
So short answer, I live in Missouri, obviously, but I feel like I hunt more in Kansas. I like to hunt more in Kansas, so I am perfectly fine with the Kansas limits. So in that scenario, extend the season, right? But
For both ducks and geese, or one or the other?
for both, right? I'm perfectly fine with the limits for both. Missouri side, I wish Missouri got 5 mallards, and I wish the goose limit, maybe not maybe not 6, but 4 or 5, right?
Okay.
So
Which is currently 3.
Yeah, if I was in Missouri, I would want to increase the bag limit. If I was in Kansas, I would want to extend the season, basically for the reasons that Everett just said too.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Joe?
Man, I always want.
It's unique for you because you hunt in North Dakota, you hunt in Texas, you
Right.
hunt with us in Kansas. So,
Right, but for me, it's always like, man, I'd like one more week, one more day. I'm not a big numbers guy. Like, I don't care if we go out and kill 100 or if we kill 2. I really don't. I've been doing it long enough. It's not about that. Don't get me wrong.
of course,
Want to pull the trigger.
no doubt.
Want to have fun, but like, I think I would rather have more days. And
Sure.
like as a guide, most days I'm like, man, we need to, we don't need to, say the limit's 30. I'm totally cool with stopping at 27
Sure.
Yeah.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think part of the thing with the limit,
But
to answer this question further, the part of the deal with the limit thing is knowing that like you can shoot more elsewhere, right? Kansas, you can shoot 6. Oklahoma, you can shoot 8 geese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up here, you can shoot 8 geese,
Right.
and 5, if you're obviously by the river. But
Yeah.
I mean, being able to know that you can drive 30 minutes in our case across the border and shoot
have
3
totally-
more
right.
geese. It's just,
Right.
you know, that's
Right.
where, you know,
The only
perception is for me.
the only exception I would have is just bump that pintail limit up to 2 again, which I think they're supposed to do.
And in hindsight, in Canada, don't let them shoot 8 pintails.
right.
Especially when they're just brown ducks. For me, it's extending the season, and it's for. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like any waterfowl hunter, if I could shoot a couple more ducks, you know, like in Kansas, you can shoot one more mallard than you can in Missouri. That would be awesome. But I often feel like as waterfowl hunters, we see this trend where the birds are showing up later, right
after the season's over.
Yeah,
right.
no doubt. Like how many times?
All the time.
Well, the last couple of years, just even our home episodes when we're chasing honkers the last week of the season. You know, it's warm still, and then I don't know how many times I'll be driving around a week or two after the season, and there's honkers everywhere, right? And like, man, if the season was just a little bit longer, and I don't know how many times we're hunting in Kansas or whatever, and I was like, man, I wish the Kansas season was just a little bit longer. We could get 1 more weekend, 2 more weeks in.
Right.
If I could get another week or two of the season, I think that we would have better hunting because the migration, and again, it's circumstantial too.
Some years maybe, some years maybe not.
And then you have El Nino last year, and we're canceling the last week of goose season in Kansas because the birds are already gone.
No doubt. No, that's true.
And that's where realistically, I mean, I want more days in a season, but realistically, it just don't work that way because eventually the birds are gone.
Yeah.
I want to create quality.
Yeah. No doubt. I get it. To Logan's point, that was rare, right?
Very rare.
Right. But in the 12 years that this being our 12th year that we've been producing the show, that was more rare than the rarity of the season coming to an end and then the birds just now showing up at the end of the season, or at least the mass numbers of them.
Part of the reason too is the conservation order, right? So you got to start that conservation order, or at least you would think they are, because if you extend the goose season, let's say 2 weeks in Kansas,
then you gotta extend the conservation season also.
And by that time it's the end of February, and you got snow geese pushing through pretty good.
So Ronnie, if you want more days on the season, pick up spring snow goose.
Oh, there you go, buddy. Give me more number. Give me one more duck.
No, seriously, that's funny. Cool.
But all valid points. Like seriously, I mean,
there's
all
opportunity.
circumstantial, but
You can hunt August to May if you really want to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would. I personally would like it to be a little bit longer.
I thought you said you were personally really going to like shooting snow geese.
In Canada, that's a whole nother topic. Let's keep moving along. So we're going to switch things up again. Look, our effort with this podcast is to obviously talk about waterfowl hunting, but it's also an opportunity for you guys to kind of get to know us a little bit better. This podcast we're doing on the road, right? Like, so we're here in North Dakota filming early Canada goose season. Then the next trip is Canada. We'll be filming and recording these podcasts from there. And then we're turning these episodes around within 24 hours of recording them. So it gives you an opportunity to get to know us on a more personal level and kind of see what the migration is happening at the moment. But we wanted to take this a little bit further to get to know us on a more personal level, because like many waterfowl hunters, guys who love to do this, we love sports too. And so we're trying to have conversation that resonate with you. And so the next topic of this conversation is the excitement of the college football kickoff that is happening a week from today. And we got some college football fans that are on this panel right now. And so let's talk about it, and maybe your team and what your thoughts are. Be it maybe it's your thoughts of what the college football playoff looks like. Maybe it's who you think is going to take the table, run the table and win the whole thing. Let's dive into it. Logan, based on what you know, what's your thoughts on the upcoming college football season, the first season of the 12-team college football playoff?
Am I supposed to talk about my team?
You can talk about any of it.
Well, I'm a swinger.
You are a swinger.
I like Mizzou and K-State both. Yep. I'm one of those guys.
Well, let's talk about why. Your dad played at Mizzou.
Oh, okay. My dad played football at Mizzou.
In Missouri.
I grew up in Missouri. Went to K-State. So yeah, obviously I like both, but they're both going to be very good. I think. I think K-State's got a chance of winning the Big 12 championship. I think Mizzou has a chance of making the college football playoff as long as they don't shit down their leg. But they both definitely have the talent, the coaches. And honestly, and as much as I hate KU, I mean, Lance Leipold is just changing that program around, and
they're solid.
It's just fun to see those three schools all be potentially really good. You know, KU obviously on the lower tier of that, but the amount of growth that program has had the last couple of years is insane. So just seeing all three of those teams around our area be good is fun. It obviously makes the camaraderie, on our trips, watching these games when we come back and from hunts and, giving each other shit, and then Dakota thinking that Nebraska is going to be good this year. So, but it's okay. He's a fair weather fan,
We're going to check in with them.
I'm a swinger. So,
okay. Cool.
Anyways, who do you root for? The Nittany Lions?
Man, I'm not. I didn't go to college. I just went to the school of hard knocks whenever I got out of high school. But we, I always grew up watching Penn State. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Been to a ton of games at Beaver Stadium. Usually tried to make it out to Pitt every year for a game out there. Been to a couple backyard brawls with Pitt in West Virginia. Those are always crazy. But, man, I'm just a fan of college football. Now living in Texas and having a bunch of friends and, younger kids in our crowd that go to Tech and go to A&M. We don't have too many that go to UT, so we don't really root for them too much. But it's pretty much just Tech and A&M.
Well, you went to a Tech game last year?
Yeah, we go to a couple Tech games every year. Try to. Cinco goes up there. Luke, all his buddies. And West Texas is just a major vibe when it comes to football in general.
Well, you live in a powerhouse.
It's crazy.
Midland, Texas.
It's wild.
Home of Booby Miles.
No doubt.
You want to win? Put Booby in.
Friday Night Lights.
You want to win? Put Booby in.
I live in Midland. He was Odessa. But anyway, I mean.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But same thing, right?
He was a mojo.
Yeah, Permian Panthers. But anyway, I'm just a really big fan of college football. I am. I love,
when you say a fan, like you like watching any
games.
game.
I love
any
good.
game. You don't have an allegiance really to any school.
I don't. Because I didn't, like I said, I don't. I didn't go to college. I'm not, alma mater. Singing the fight song. I'm not doing that.
Sure.
But I love college football. I just want to see a good game. If there's a top 10 matchup, I want it to be a good game.
Right.
And if it is, I'm all in. If it's just like anything else, it's a blowout. Whatever, but I just love good college football. Do you pay
attention to like any preseason reports or like top 25 polls or anything?
I don't.
You just watch the games?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I pay attention to the top 25.
Okay.
Obviously, right? I do. And I am very excited, about the 12-team playoff. I think they should have done it years ago.
Things.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a small. I hope it has the same energy and feel as a small March Madness.
Yep. No doubt.
Kind of thing.
No doubt. I think that's what they're going for.
Going to be a Cinderella. There's going to be a 12 upset of 2, and it's oh my God, this is crazy.
No doubt.
I hope as a fan of the game, I hope that is the case.
Sure.
Moving forward. But no, man, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I mean, a lot of badass athletes coming out of Pennsylvania.
No doubt. That's
Ohio,
a highly recruited state.
Ohio right next door, also crazy. There's a lot of badass college football or college and pro football players that come out of Pennsylvania and Ohio. There's no doubt about it. So I grew up in a very, big football area, but like I said, just being in West Texas now, it's just even amplified times,
sure.
A whole nother level. But
so do you know anything about Cinco, who's obviously your boss's son, goes to Texas Tech? So do you find yourself becoming more familiar with that team or that school? Do you feel like you have a gauge on how that team is going to perform in this year's Big 12?
I don't, but I just got a feeling that they're going to win the Big 12 and
my God,
and beat K-State.
They're not even playing this year.
Oh, they're not?
They're not.
We talked about that the other day.
I know, I was joking, but they're really not. They're not on the schedule this year. It's weird. K-State has all of these new teams. They play Arizona and they play BYU and all of these new teams that have come to the Big 12.
Right.
And the teams that they've typically played from year to year in the Big 12, the original Big 12, They don't play Texas Tech this year. Now and now,
fortunately for you guys,
they could shit. if they have a good enough season to go to the Big 12 championship game, then there could be a possibility there.
Right. No.
Wow, he actually thinks Texas Tech is going to go to the Big 12 or to win the Big 12. That's incredible. Hey, bold prediction, man. Hey.
You never know.
Bold
Season
prediction.
hasn't started yet.
No doubt. All right, so we'll get to you, Everett. I'm going to go next. I like Everett, I'm more of a college fan than a NFL fan or a professional sports fan. Like, I live, breathe, crap K-State.
Purple and silver, baby.
Oh my God.
You got iron
Football,
covers.
basketball, baseball. Like, it is a great time to be a K-State fan. Our team, I think, is in the top 25, depending on the polls. You're looking at top 15, top 20. Picked to be second in the Big 12, but it's by a small margin. Utah's got
I was going to say behind Tech.
No. I don't even think Tech is in the top 6, dude.
Season hasn't started yet.
No, it hasn't. But I'm just saying the preseason predictions don't have Tech in the top 6. It's going to be a fun year in the Big 12. I think there's a lot of it's a kind of a lot, like you got Utah, K-State, you got Oklahoma State, you got KU, like KU was the bottom dweller of the Big 12 for so long. And as Logan was talking about, Lance Leipold has brought that team to a whole nother level, man. So now that gets to that K-State KU game gets to actually be a rivalry game, which is exciting. I predict K-State not only to win the Big 12, I predict K-State to be in the top 12, to be in the college football playoff. I don't know where it's going to go from there. Who knows? It's way too early to predict that, but I do feel really good about the recruits they brought in. I feel really good about Avery Johnson and our quarterback. I feel really good about, although the offensive line is not returning starters, they're players who played a lot as reserves. So there's experience there. We got depth at wide receiver. We got depth at running back. We got depth in our defense. Our secondary is phenomenal, especially on the quarterback side.
Let's just come down off that high horse for a minute.
I'm just saying, I'm really good. But here's what I will say, and Logan was talking
Sounds like they're never going to lose a game.
They may not. They really may not. They I think they have a possibility of going undefeated.
Wow.
But I really do. No, I'm not saying, I'm saying undefeated in the conference. I don't, whatever happens after that. But like in the conference, look, they could easily go undefeated. You heard it here first. They could just as easily lose 3 games.
That's a big spread there, Bob.
No, I'm not saying they're
lose
going
3
to go.
games. You're not going to be in the
I'm
college
not
football
predicting
playoff.
them to go undefeated. I'm predicting them to win the league. I'm predicting them to go to the playoffs. But I'm saying
3 losses is not going to win the league.
3 losses isn't going to get you
listen to me.
in the
You're
national
not listening.
championship.
You're listening. I know. I'm saying that the conference is so competitive that they could lose 3 games. But the margin is so close that there is a possibility I could see them going undefeated in the league.
So they're either going to win or they're going to lose.
Yes, Joe. But I'm saying it's just that it's that close. I wouldn't be surprised if they do go undefeated. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Logan was talking earlier about our area. For those who don't know, you're just now getting familiar with Heartland Waterfowl. We're kind of based in the Kansas City area. So you got Missouri, that's, an hour and a half, 2 hours down the road. You got Lawrence, that's an hour down the road. Manhattan, where K-State is, 2 hours down the road. So if you listen to local sports talk radio, they're constantly talking about Mizzou, K-State, KU. All 3 of those teams are going to be phenomenal. I can see Missouri also. I mean, they're a top 15, top 10. They're not top 10. I think they're like top 15, top 12 preseason. I could see them making it. They're an SEC team. They got a lot of stiff competition there, but I could see them making the Big 12 or the college football playoff as well. So it's a fun time. I've talked a lot. Everett, what do you think? What's your thoughts on college football?
I'm with Ronnie. I'm a huge K-State homer and everything, and I'm hoping that they have a really good season. But I'm excited to see the new Big 12 in general and the competition there, and see how that all shakes out, because there's a lot.
We haven't talked about the addition of Colorado and prime time coming back to the Big 12. Deion Sanders, right?
They're not
overhyped.
Yeah, they're not going to be that good. They don't have an offensive line again.
So did you see the deal on that where the pollsters, there was only one that gave them a vote for the top 25, and he said that he felt disrespected about that. He
respect is earned.
That's it. No doubt. No, I agree.
Got to win, baby.
So anyway, it's fun, and we're going to be doing this throughout the season. We've got a fantasy league for the NFL that's going to be coming out. It's the first year that we've ever done this, so we'll have some banter back and forth with that as a majority of the guys on our Heartland Waterfowl team. So if you're into football, then you are at the right place. If you're into waterfowl and football, you're in the right place. We're going to be talking about
ducks,
fantasy,
ducks, football.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
it should be fun. And we'd love to hear from you. Like if you got a favorite team, if you got a prediction on how your team's going to do or how
If you got shit to talk.
Yeah, no doubt. Like we can talk smack
boy,
just as
here it
good as any
goes.
of them. So
The
we would
message board is lighting up.
love, we hope so. We'd love to hear from you. Where
Ronnie
you-
has fast fingers.
I do. I can type over 100 words a minute. If you seriously though, if you got an allegiance to a certain team, comment below. We'd love to hear from you and what your thoughts are on the upcoming college football season. All right, so let's move on. Outlaw moment of the day. We want to talk about Outlaw Beer. Thank you guys. We're excited about our upcoming partnership that we haven't got quite figured out yet, but we know that we're going to be drinking Outlaw Beer in the near future. Everett, what is your outlaw moment of the day? Now, this could be anything, badass, funny, or just some sort of good vibe moment. So whatever it is.
When Joe was out there walking around and started setting decoys, I heard him say, "Hey, I got feathers and shit out here."
Okay. All right.
That's a good sign.
I knew we were in the spot right then.
Joe was your outlaw
heard-
moment of the day.
I'm a firm believer that if you're setting up where there's goose poop, you're in the right
Yep.
spot.
That made my day right there.
Man, there's a theme here because I'm actually giving Joe my outlaw moment.
I'm just an Indian outlaw.
Yeah, you are. There was a little bit of a lull in the moment, and that was a little bit uncomfortable for some of us, but because of the fog, and you can't see the birds coming, and you can only hear them, and when they're there, they're there. And so after a while, when the birds aren't moving and you're not hearing anything, you get bored. What happens? For some reason, it would be a good idea by Joe Palumbo to bring a football to the field. And so what happens is the guys are throwing around the football, and all of a sudden the birds busted us once or maybe even twice. Throwing around the football. And Joe said, football is done until 9 a.m. We're not throwing the football till 9 a.m. And Dakota was sitting there like ticking down the moments because he almost would rather throw the football around than being out there waterfowl hunting with us. So we'll talk about that.
And then at 8:42,
Kids.
you're throwing that football around and got busted.
Yeah. So
Busted.
Joe Palumbo putting the hammer down on the kids.
Kids were grounded.
All right, Dakota's just dying to say
kids
something.
were grounded.
We've already moved on from college football, so we don't care to hear about Nebraska.
Okay, that's cool. My outlaw moment of the day is getting to play football with the boys. That is a vibe. Just grabbing the pigskin,
No doubt.
throwing the pigskin around. Everybody's commented on, okay, you got a tight spiral. You giving some crap to the guy
We
that
had a
drops
punt
the
pass
ball.
kick
We
yesterday.
had a punt pass kick, and then we played closest to the pin with the football.
Yeah.
It's just always a vibe when the football comes out. Everybody can kind of go back, get a little piece of nostalgia of like being able to.
Let's
throw
just
the
play
ball around when
catch.
you were a kid. Yeah,
Throw me the ball, Dad.
it is a vibe setter and my outlaw moment.
My man.
Fair enough. Logan, or Joe, what's your outlaw moment of the day?
Man, I'd have to say whenever Cole caught that fish.
That's
That
a
was a
good
big
one.
walleye.
That's
Big
a good
walleye.
one.
It
That
was
was
awesome.
that was probably the biggest one of the trip, right? There wasn't one caught bigger than that.
We caught a couple 22s and 23s on Thursday.
23s, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were an inch off, but still.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
yeah.
Didn't Cole catch that one too?
He caught a 22 and a half on Thursday.
Wow.
But
Guy's
yeah,
got a horseshoe
I mean,
up his ass.
it was it was an awesome fish, man. First when it came up and flashed first time, we saw it wasn't a pike.
Mhm.
That was outlaw.
Okay. All right, Logan, your outlaw moment of the day.
Mine is just the fog. Because
Really?
The fog was an outlaw.
I thought you would for sure say Ben's blind retrieve on.
No, that's just par for the
Hey,
course.
that's
we
it.
know
Oh,
that's
wow.
happening.
That
It's
ain't
par
nothing
for
By
out
the
outlaw.
way, is a
ain't
double
nothing
T British Kennels Labrador Retriever.
Well, yeah, that's why it's par for the course.
Okay,
Right?
Exactly.
Same with Rip.
Yep.
No, but honestly, I just had the worst feeling going into that field this morning with that fog. I was like, we're looking at day 3 with not pulling the trigger. Maybe my outlaw moment is I got to pull the trigger today.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Heck
there
yeah,
you
brother.
go. Hey, you can have 2 of those.
But yeah, I mean, I was just literally after that first group did it, I was like, thank you, fog.
Yeah.
And before driving in the field, I was like, fog, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
we early season, just 99% of the time you have fog, it doesn't work out, and just part of it. And we got I'll say we got a little lucky today.
I like the aggression today of getting down there in the X with that fog.
Get dirty.
I like that call.
Get dirty.
Get in there.
Hey, you got to be aggressive.
Yep.
Yeah. Got to be aggressive.
All right, we don't want to leave out Q, who's behind the board. Q, what was your outlaw moment of the day?
My outlaw moment of the day is when Dakota pouted that Joe wouldn't let him out of the blind because he couldn't throw the football.
I had to put a leash on him.
I felt like a puppy on the porch.
Yeah.
Looking through the screen door.
Man, Papa Ron is passing the
That
torch
is
to
so
Papa
funny.
Joe.
That is so
Papa
funny.
Joe Palumbo.
Hey,
who's
man, I was
putting the hammer down.
Settle down.
Hey, you might get MVP out of this deal.
All right, so let's get ready
He
to
does
wrap
have
up.
a tight spiral.
Yes, you do. You do. Lots of practice.
Lots of practice.
Let's get ready to wrap this thing up. So before we do, we want to remind you that there's an opportunity for you to win a Heartland Waterfowl Swag Pack from our brand new online store. There's all brand new designs, hats, shirts, hoodies. We just relaunched this about a month ago. And speaking of month, we have a design of the month, and there's a limited run of those. These are really cool designs. I mean, this isn't any generic stuff that we're doing with these designs of the month. So go check that out.
There's only going to be a couple of them, and we're not doing them again.
That's right. But you could be a beneficiary of that design of the month and other hats and shirts and hoodies from our online store by making sure that you subscribe to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel. You comment on this video. You like all of the videos that we're doing. And at the end, actually, we'll probably give it away on the next episode, right? So make sure that you're commenting. So whether you're commenting on just something generic, whether you're giving us your ducked up question of the day or your answer to the ducked up question of the day, or maybe it was your outlaw moment of your day, whatever it might be, please comment on these videos. It will get you automatically entered to win the Heartland Waterfowl Swag Pack at the, I guess that we'll give away in the next episode. So let's wrap it up. We got a game plan for tomorrow. It's going to be our final hunt for early season geese in North Dakota. Joe and I were able to go out and scout this. It's something that our buddies here in North Dakota have been able to look at for the last couple of days. Joe, why don't you kind of set the picture, paint the picture for the listeners.
You want me to Bob Ross it for you?
I want you to Bob Ross this. You got some pretty trees over here.
We got an oat field, like a dirty oat field. It's got some swaths in it. It's got some sheet water from all the rain on Tuesday when we were driving up. That was one of the deals. The birds have been in here, but the farmer, he didn't want us to hunt. He's like, if it dries out this weekend, I'll let you go. And one of the stipulations even to hunt tomorrow is that we have to buggy in because there is still some low spots that are holding some water. Anyway, we got a little bit of a rock pile not too far from some sheet water. The birds are in between the sheet water and the rock pile.
How many birds would you say are in there?
It was quite a few. I mean, whenever we saw it,
pushing 100 maybe?
Yeah, for sure. There's 100 pack. Yeah, maybe a couple more, but yeah, right around 100. And there was a bunch of ducks flying around. So hopefully they'll come out and just give us a little tease tomorrow on our last morning before we get into the hot and heavy of duck season. It's always fun to watch them work this time of year. Man, they're just vulnerable and they don't know no better. And it's just fun to watch them work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be good. Oats, swaths, sheet water, rock pile.
Love it.
Say less.
Yeah.
Do more.
We're riding high right now after a wonderful day and after 2 days of just really getting punched in the teeth. So we're feeling really good going into our last out. Vibes are high. So you got to make sure you check it out. There's going to be a video of this entire trip of these hunts coming out in our Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel
next week
on the 25th at noon Central Time. 25th noon Central Time, you're going to get to see the whole story play out in a video edited by our buddies Dakota and Q from Marathon Media Management. So be sure to be looking for that on our YouTube channel. And thank you guys again for so much for watching. We're going to come back to you tomorrow for another episode. We'll give you maybe a few more tips of what we've learned from this trip in our early season goose pursuit. And we hope that you tune in. So thanks to Double T British Kennels again for being a proud title sponsor of the Behind the Blind podcast. Thanks to Dirty Duck Coffee. Shout out to Outlaw Beer for Everett Adkins, Logan Burditt, and Joe Palumbo. I'm Ronnie Philips. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another episode of the Behind the Blind podcast from Heartland Waterfowl.
That was good.
Yeah.